Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. So if you're new here, kindly subscribe and don't forget to turn on the notification button so that anytime I post a video, you'll be one of the first people to see it. To my returning subscribers, thank you so much for always coming here to watch my videos. Don't forget to like, share, and of course subscribe. Enjoy.
All right, good to have all of you back. Captain Mo, I see you, bro. Captain Mo. All right. We have all building. Pray network permits this.
Hello?
Cakey, man.
No, I'm very good. I'm doing very good. Thank you.
Good to have you here, man. Good evening.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening.
All right. So my name is Obi Franklin. This is the Bbnaija review show. I knew you for the first time when you got on the Big Brother show, and though we laughed about a few things that happened in the house, but it's good to have you here for us to talk about the future. Are you ready?
No, ready. I mean, listen, I just feel I had a huge experience there.
Yeah.
And man, like right now, I'm just looking forward to the future, like you said.
All right. I'm a big football fan, right? And towards the end of the house, you were talking a lot about football. You know, I think I watched your interview with Bbnaija, and you talked about FIFA. You talked about being drafted in FIFA and all of that. That really interests me. So I always tell people, if I haven't done management for the last 14 years, if I was not going to do any other thing, I'll go into football management, like become a FIFA football agent, right? So that kind of connects with what you're trying to do. So let's talk about that. So why love for football?
I mean, my childhood growing up, my dad watched lots of football games. I started watching the Premier League in 1998, 99, I can't remember. So that really shaped me and shaped my love for the game. But then it got to a point where I knew I wasn't going to be able to go professional. And in secondary school, I was the second goalkeeper, and the first goalkeeper left secondary school, and then the third goalkeeper became the first goalkeeper. So if you get the gist. No, I still stayed as the second though. So I was just playing like dying minutes, penalties, all those kind of situations. So I understood I wasn't going to be good enough to go professional. So what I did was I applied myself to start learning about the game, to study the game more. So at a very early age, I was already analyzing football games, analyzing it in the sense that when I'm watching a game, I had like scrapbooks where I'll drop like formations, try and see, okay, if I'm the coach or the manager of the losing team, what would I do? Who would I bring on? What are the type of tactical changes I'll make? And I started doing that like at a really early age. But then obviously as you know, if you have an opportunity to study, because we really don't have the setup here for you to maybe branch into maybe coaching or all those kind of things. You would go to school, you probably study medicine, law, or whatever it is. So fortunately for me, I was able to study economics for my bachelor's degree. But then when it was time for me to do my master's degree, I decided to use the opportunity to branch into football. And I wrote my thesis. My topic was assessment of European football clubs' efficiency. And it helped me understand the business side of sports, the business side, the business and financial side of football as well. And UEFA commented on my thesis, and I got an opportunity to work with one of their federations as a football academy analyst. So yeah, this just been basically my football journey. But what shaped that whole thing was my dad. I watched like also basketball, Formula One, boxing, American football as well. So all these things, my life is just filled with sports, and that's what really helped me do really well with the Betway trivia thing that we did in the house. At a certain time, Tricky started calling me the Oracle whenever we had the Betway sports trivia. Shaping my love for sports was my dad. He's my dad.
All right. So for someone like me, I know that supporting a club, like what club do you support first of all before I tell you the club I support?
Oh, so I'll give you a hint. Now I deal with heartbreak perfectly well.
Oh, you're an Arsenal fan.
Yeah, now you know. So
yeah.
you can't get walked. Like, listen, when you're an Arsenal fan, anything goes.
All right, I'm a Manchester United fan. I thought you were going to say Liverpool. You know, Man U has beef with Liverpool.
Yeah, I know. My first sister is a huge Manchester United fan.
Oh yeah, I'm a huge Manchester United fan, and I got that from my dad. You know, growing up, I was him watching Manchester United, so I that was a lot. So now there's something that you said that really caught my attention. For a lot of people, they try something, they hold on to that thing, they know they are failing, right? They try, they know they are failing, they try, and they don't look at the opportunities around that. For someone like you, you tried sports, right? And at some point you knew you were not going to be able to go professional with sport.
Yeah.
And you had to look at the business side of sports. So for a lot of young people watching you right now, I want you to use your experience to advise them that there are things that you try to do so much and it's not working. Not that that thing is not working, but there are a lot of things around that particular thing that can make you money and you can do perfectly in. So I want you to use your experience to kind of mirror that for a lot of young people watching you.
Yeah, the first and the most important thing I would say is my dad always tells me that thing is there isn't, like, in a positive way, there's no straight path or straight way to success, you know? So that goal you have or that particular place you want to be in my case, like to work in sports, is sometimes to get to that direction or to get to that final destination, I have to now come back to Nigeria, struggle to even get anyone in any sports federation to listen to me. And then from there, audition for Big Brother, fail, but then still have that determination and just is willingness. Like, you shouldn't don't let it die. People told me so many times, you wouldn't be able to make it. And that's why I said, I'm this kind of person that you tell me you can't make it, I'm like, okay, just hold on and watch me, you know? And it's important to have that attitude and to have that ideology where if you believe in something, you go for it, you know? And my favorite movie in my whole life is Chariots of Fire. And one time, one of the guys in the movie, he didn't win. And he said, I don't run to lose, I run to win. And his girlfriend told him, but if you don't run, you can't win. So in simple terms, is if you want to achieve something with all the stumbling blocks you have, but if you don't persist and continue, you wouldn't get there. So it's all about dedicating yourself, saying, okay, this is what I want to do. I'm going to make sure I achieve that goal of mine. And you just keep applying and keep pushing. And you're definitely going to get there. So for me, the one message I'll say is, if plan A doesn't work, then try and see if plan B would take you to where plan A is meant to take you, you know? So, but just make sure you do things that are positive. Don't ever let yourself feel like you need to go through a negative route to achieve your dreams. Just try and be as positive as you can and apply yourself. And they say, my mom would tell me, heaven helps those who help themselves. So you apply yourself and you're definitely going to get there for sure.
All right. I want to use this opportunity to say a huge congratulations to not you first, but to your sisters. They brought in their A game to supporting the other brand. And they dropped, there are some videos that they dropped at some point. And I believe that one of the videos actually helped your voting ratio for the week you were up for eviction with Kidwire and co. That the week before you were evicted.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you see, the most important thing is looking at you and seeing how you've been able to handle your interviews. I've watched a couple of your interviews before now. You actually come from you don't need to tell us, you actually come from a very well put together home. And you're talking about your dad, you know, a lot of us are daddy's boys, but unfortunately for someone like me, he's no more. I want to say huge
sorry.
congratulations to them, and I say that they
Thank
need a
you.
holiday. You need to take them on a holiday also.
I see. Nothing. No holiday. No speech will ever be enough for me to repay my sisters and even the Superior's fan base. Like nothing will ever be able to repay them. I just hope that I'm able to do positive things, and I think those positive things I'll be able to achieve would give them all the greatest joy they ever need.
Great. So let's talk about fashion, right? So 2 weeks ago, I ordered some of your merchandise.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm really grateful.
So
Thank you.
I ordered a couple. So I still have a few to give out for those that are ready to. So I have a couple to give out. So now,
thank you very much.
So you looking at this, I don't like buying merchandise from people, but for some reason I ordered yours, right? Your handler actually offered to give me a pair free. I said, no, let me buy. Now, when I bought it, I was not disappointed because the texture of, especially the pants, right?
Yeah.
The texture was good, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's something that I can walk into maybe a Topshop or a Zara H&M and buy, right?
Yeah.
So that's what really made me. I rocked it. I actually took a picture with it yesterday. So let's talk about fashion. So did you have that plan that, okay, you were going to wear the durag and the shorts before you got into the house? Because that really sold very well.
Yeah, no, so this is how it works. Like with the shorts started when I was doing my my masters, and so during the summer when the weather gets really hot, you don't want to be wearing lots of denim trousers and just plain trousers, chinos trousers. So you want to wear shorts because they're more comfortable and more breathable during those times. Yeah. And this one time I got this pair of shorts, and they were like a little bit loose on the thighs. So when I pulled them up, they got really fitted, and they were so comfortable. And I was like, this doesn't seem that bad at all. So coming into the house, I started buying lots of shorts before I even came into the house. So when I came into the house and I started doing it, my people in the house now started commenting a whole lot about it. I mean, my last sister, when I'll be going out sometimes, if we're at home together, she'll be like, "Also, just pull the shorts down a little bit," that kind of thing. But
someone said if it's not short, it's not for us.
No, it's not. I started doing this thing where one leg will be longer. So the left leg has to be higher than the right leg, kind of situation with the whole thing. No, but for me, I always say fashion is all about, it doesn't have to just look nice. You need to be comfortable as well. And that's why anything I'll do or anything I'm going to continue to do, like with the fashion industry, is going to be creating clothing that people will be comfortable wearing. Something you can wear to the gym, something you could wear to go to the mall, something you can wear and chill at home, something you can wear and chill outside. So this is my idea. And with the do-rags, I would like to say shout out to Neo, because it was just one day we had the very first, when we had the second show, which was like our second task. So I had like these black do-rags and I rocked them. And once I rocked them that day and came out, everyone was like, wow, so you look different. Because I was wearing the flat hats before then. So the first time everyone saw me with the do-rag, they were like, man, you look really nice. And Neo was like, gee, I came with like lots of do-rags and stuff. And I really started rocking them. So it wasn't planned with the do-rags, but with the shorts, it was just my style for the longest time.
So, like someone like me, I wear good clothes, right? Yeah. And I'm sure that when you start, the quality will be way better. The quality now is very good. I wore it throughout yesterday after I got back from work. I wore it throughout yesterday. Yeah. So now looking at a business, what kind of businessman are you? Because I'm sure that you already know, okay, you're out of the house, also is popular. What kind of businessman were you before fame? And what kind of businessman do you think you're going to be now?
Before getting into the house, I on the business side of things, I started like a clothing line called Bbnaija with my best friend when we were doing our bachelor's degree. And like you were talking of quality and everything. So the very first production we had, we made like 1,000 t-shirts. But then one of my friends, you know, it's always good to start with friends. One of my friends bought like a couple and he wore one, like just like I said you did, put it in the washing machine and then everything just went off. So you can imagine you're starting a business, you've made like 1,000 that you want to sell. So we had to like push everything aside and just stop selling. We started the second collection. We made a commercial, put it on YouTube, put it on social media and everything. And we sold 200 sets in 2 weeks for a brand that was just starting. For us, that was like a major win. And from there, we really started kicking on, made some profits, which helped with some uni as well. So for me, I've always had that business idea behind my head. But by the time I did my master's, I said, okay, my dream has always been to work in football. So I'll just let business stay on the side for now and try and pursue the whole sports administration thing. But obviously now outside the house, my main things are between sports, development, entertainment and fashion. So within these three industries, everything is going to have to be business oriented, you know, and trying to find a gap. I feel like it's always important to know, and I always tell this to people whenever it has to do with businesses, just look for where there's a gap and see if you could help fill that gap. Because when you're filling that gap, you're making people happy. Though you're making profits, but you're also helping people as well. So it's just trying to find a gap. And that's the kind of businessman I am, finding a gap and trying to fill that gap up.
Okay. Now we're going to come back to business. I want to say something. You see, there are people that fight for you, right? And they fight for you because they believe that they believe in who you are and what you've become.
Yeah.
Noboligwe bossed it everywhere. And I want to say, I give it to him 100%. You know, he did almost everything to make sure that Ozo stayed in the house, called people the same way your sisters did and everything. And the synergy was excellent, you know. I want to say that's another person that he needs a holiday and a chill bottle of something, you know. I'm sure that you guys have already hooked up already. That guy did a great job. I wanted to just say that.
No, definitely did. He did. Definitely.
Yeah. All right. So looking at football, right? Looking at your football management, the business of football, there are a lot of young people in Nigeria. So let's talk about the lack of sport development in Nigeria, right? Nigeria, we have very, very, very talented guys. I'm sure you see a lot of talented kids on social media playing football and all that. So now you're Ozo, right? You're no more. Let's forget the Ozo Mena. That is our village name. That's where we are coming from. So now you're Ozo as a brand.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? The minister for youth and sport, Sunday Dari, is a very young guy. Is that something you're going to take to the government and say, listen, I want to do sport development for Nigeria. Let's leave the state. I know you're from Enugu State, but let's leave state.
No, I'm from Imo actually.
Sorry, you're from Imo State, but you live in Enugu.
Yeah, but I live in Enugu, yes.
Okay. So is there something you're going to package right now? Because your face can now open the door. Your face can open many doors right now. Is that something you're going to do in terms of sport development to take to government? Because it's very important to have people like you speak up for sport development in Nigeria.
Well, for me, one thing where things starts is everything has to start from dedication and willingness to see something to the end. And I'll come back to my favorite movie again, Chariots of Fire, where they said, where does the power come to see a race to the end? It comes from within. So until we're willing to dedicate ourselves and apply ourselves, because we all know ourselves, like most times it's kind of like in our nature where we start something now today, we want to see results tomorrow. And a huge example is the Iceland team that made it to the Euros and to the World Cup. When Iceland started doing like indoor training facilities, because you know, like the weather there is really, really cold, and started putting things in place, started training, making sure that they had lots of coaches with like the UEFA A license and the UEFA Pro license. When they put all those things into place, Sigurdsson, Sigthorsson, all those guys that were in that team, they were between the ages of 12 and 13, something around that age. By the time they were, those guys were like in their mid 20s or almost late 20s, and they also made it to the World Cup. So it took like almost 10 years to get there, you know? Now, with us, like I said, we just want to do things now and then see results immediately. And it's how much do we want to dedicate ourselves? When I did the Bets with Difference campaign with Lakon, we did, I think it was last week, Saturday. We found out that the last document that was made in 2009 for almost like sports structure stuff that was passed, 61% of the sports stakeholders and administrators in Nigeria had no idea that that document was made. So how do you make a document that's meant to change the structure of sports and you don't have the stakeholders and administrators working together to help change, to help put that structure together? And on the dedication part is, I'll say this now, I put together a document to the Football Federation in 2018. You know, when you have to spiral, so put down ideas. Because my thesis, I also added my thesis there, which was based on assessment of European football clubs with. Because before I came back to Nigeria, I prepared a draft for an academic performance plan for the Football Federation in UEFA that I worked with. But I was told I was going to get a call back, but in 2020, I didn't get a call back. So
From
the thing is,
our own federation, right?
Yeah, yes. So the thing is, it's not just, it's about how willing and dedicated are we. So it's one thing me or you taking a document to the minister and saying, okay, let's do this. But it's not just let's do this, are we willing to do this? Are we willing to see this thing to the end? Are we willing to go through the pains to try and see this thing? Development has to do with education as well. Football management or football business courses, and someone has studied that course for 4 years, maybe the person decides to do a master's degree, or even if the person is just done after 4 years, and the person is working as the minister not minister, the person in charge of finance at the federation level. This person already understands the basics and has the tools of what it's needed to work in the football finance sector, that kind of thing. But now you have people like myself or people that have started other degrees working in these different departments. Not like they're not doing good jobs. They're doing great jobs to the best of their ability. But most times they have to learn on the job. So if you bring in someone or if you set up the sports education system where people study sports degrees and people don't have to learn on the job again, understand the basics and have the tools of what you need, is only going to make us stronger. And you have this thing we call the academic plan, like I talked, the one I created the drafts for. So if you have an academic performance plan, football philosophy, so that way we can understand what brand of football do we want to play as a nation in general. So if we define the type of brand of football we want to play, we filter that brand of football down all the way through the academy setup. So that way we get to a point where we have different youth teams. So if you take a winger from the youth team, from the under-17 team, and put him in the under-23 team, he understands what winger in the Nigerian national team setup. You take the person from under-23 to the national team, he understands what's needed from him. So that way you have continuity. And we also need to be able to improve our education and create a coaching syllabus. Like when we're in school, remember, like our teachers had the syllabus that they would teach us from. So everything has a sequence. That's how it is in football as well. You have a coaching syllabus. So everything the players are learning to develop them is all in a sequence. So until we're ready to understand that we go through these growing pains and work with the right people, then it's one thing. It's easy for myself or for you to just prepare the documents that are important and to meet or hand them over. But the thing is, are we really willing to go through those growing pains? I feel like once we're willing to answer that question, if the answer is yes, then it makes a whole lot of sense. But if I'm willing to do it, 100% I am.
Okay. quick question. Looking at
Yeah.
sports, do you think that the growing clamor for the women and men to earn the same amount of money is a good thing to happen to sports?
At the same time, like the women who play, if it's a football, they are not playing 60 minutes, they are playing 90. Now, what people would always, one notion people always bring up is in terms of, because we know that sports, what generates a whole lot of income now for sports is the TV deals. That's what generates the most amount of income for sports. The people will tell you that TV companies were willing to pay over the premium for male games than they want to pay for female games. So until we're ready to look at that, when it comes to the TV deals, until we're ready to look at that differently, then we're going to keep finding ourselves in this same situation where we feel like the women shouldn't earn more because they play the same. We get to that point, then someone that I grew up in a family where I had 3 sisters, so I definitely believe in equality. My parents didn't treat me differently from the way they treated my sisters. My parents would never do that whole only son thing, never in their dictionary. So I definitely believe in equality for sure.
All right. So having said this, right, I think you're in the right position to actually first. I'll be surprised if in another 1 year you don't own or start building an academy, right? Or start somewhere in sport, because you see, for me, sports sports is a very, very, very big part of our lives, right? One thing that unites Nigeria, there's one thing that has never divided Nigeria. One thing that unites Nigeria is sports, entertainment. You understand? We go out, you hear Davido is on the stage performing, right? Everybody loves Davido song, they love Wizkid songs, love Bbnaija song, techno, Tiwa Savage. It brings us together. So we don't say, I am this, I am that, right? And when it comes to football, the only time you hear the entire Nigeria nodding their heads for one particular thing is when Nigerians, as a team, let's say Super Eagles, the Super Falcons, are actually out there supporting us. So for me, it kind of puts me in a position where your kind of person is very, very needed in our sport development in Nigeria. So I'll be very, very much interested in the academy side and FIFA football agent. I've always wanted to do that. I currently even manage a footballer, a female footballer.
Oh.
So, but
Nice.
let's digress a little bit. So because we can stay here and talk about football.
I know.
Yeah, looking at Big Brother as a platform. When you came out of the house, how did that feel? Because you can imagine 9 weeks. When you go to bed and you dream about something, right? Then you wake up and everything has changed. Is that what happened to you when you got out of the house?
No, I mean, first of all, once I was walking out of the door, I just walked out and then I saw my car. I was like, okay, it's not that bad, And I walked past the car that I won and walking onto the stage. For me, at that point, I just said to myself, if I was a bit relaxed, because I just told myself that this is how my story was meant to be, I was meant to get this opportunity to be on this great platform and be there for like 9 weeks. And at that point, I was just getting myself ready for everything. So I think that's why when I came on stage, I didn't feel any sense of, oh, maybe I should have, or had I known, or those kind of things. Because one thing I even spoke countless times to all the housemates was when I said, you never want to be on this show. You have like a had I known moment when you leave. And why I was waiting out was, after the evictions, we almost got rattled a bit, and I always reiterated the fact, I said, don't let anything change who you are, because like I called it, I said, it's a reality TV show. And for me, I had the opportunity to live my own reality. So could you imagine if you came in there with a strategy and you get evicted week 1 or week 2, you'll be on your bed, you want to die, because you'll be asking yourself, what if I use a different strategy, or what if I was myself? Maybe I would have stayed longer. But if you're yourself and you get evicted, you're just relaxed. You're like, okay, cool. Like, I couldn't have done anything better. Like, there's nothing else you would have done to change how your situation played out. So that single fact alone, so much relief. And walking out, I was just thinking of meeting my family, and just being grateful for everything that I had. And I said it to on stage to the organizers of the show that they treated me like a king. I was on vacation, like one of the best vacations of my whole life. That's what I was doing. I was chilling. I became a bartender. I became an actor. I became a talent presenter, a talent judge. I became a fashion designer, a tailor. So I was able to dig deep into myself, and things in my life that I probably wouldn't have dug into. It pulled out a whole lot of talent in me, and these things have given me so much confidence to walk out back into the world. So walking out into the world, you're not scared, but you have this extra confidence, this extra spring in your step that, well, I've learned a whole lot about myself than I knew, for me, like in my case, for 28 years of my life. So now it's taking Big Brother to help pull out all these extra things in me. So it's not fair, but extra confidence and spring in your step that you're going to go out there and just conquer the world and deliver on some of all these promises and things that you said while you were in the house. So I was just looking forward to the whole time.
All right. So I wanted to ask you a question, but I don't think that it should be a question anymore, because I think that with everything you said, coming out of Big Brother, no regrets. No single regret.
No.
All right.
No.
So as a show, right? One thing I'll tell you that is, I feel like at some point we were uncomfortable with a few things that were happening in the house, right? And so some of us use it as a joke, right? Others use it as a different situation. But one thing I'll tell you is, you have the best fans that I've seen come out of Big Brother at the level, because not everybody that goes into Big Brother, right? Not everybody that goes into Big Brother has the same number of followership, right? Some people are bigger than others because of the content they created on the show, right? Trust me, I'll say this to you, from your sister to your team to Noboligwe and everybody, you have the best fans I've ever seen come out of Big Brother. They are not toxic. They are not fighting everywhere. They are not, they tell you what they want to tell you, and in a very, very nice way. I don't know if they will change, but I pray that they don't. Now that you're out, I want you to use that same fan base to actually push your agenda, because they actually come from a different club. So I want to tell you that, having seen a lot of people, you have one of the very, very, very those fans that are very, very, very cool. They are not trying to they are just focused on keeping their talent in the house, and that's been very, very great. I want to say that to you, and I'll say that to your handlers as well, that they did a great job. Yeah, they did a great job. So we're going to play a game.
I feel like I'll never be able to thank them enough. The Superiors, like, for me, what they did for me, I'll never be able to pay them back. It's amazing, and even now on the outside, and seeing everything that they did, it's great. It's a pleasure to have the best fans ever. That's for sure.
Are you big in politics?
Big in politics? No. Like, politics is the one thing that you ask me things about. I'm like, you ask me, so do you know this person? I'll be nodding like, hey, I know him, but to be honest, I have no idea. So yeah, no.
So as close as you are to your father, your father doesn't discuss politics.
No, my dad wouldn't. We discuss sports. We sit down the whole day and discuss Formula One and boxing and football. But we rarely discuss politics. Nah. Maybe if there's like a health situation, we will. But no, we never really discuss politics. It's sports. Sports is like our thing.
Okay, but for some very great reason, a young guy, you're famous now. 2023 election is coming. A lot of people are not happy with the state of the nation, right? Some people are not happy how their governors are treating the states. Some people are not happy how some ministers or the president or different people are treating the country. So now you have a voice. What are you going to do with that voice come 2020? Yes, you're not interested in politics, but you're interested in the well-being of the country. What are you going to use that voice with the fan base you already have? I'm sure before 2023, you should be at 5 to 10 million followers on Instagram, because we know that you're going to serve us a lot of great content, a lot of positivity, because a lot of people want to see that. We are coming from a pandemic. So We don't want to see toxic people on the internet. We want to see people that appreciate people, right?
Yeah.
So, what are you going to use your fan base to do come 2023? Yes, you might not be standing in for an election. Something might change, but we need to see that, use that for you to use that fan base to change something in our political place in Nigeria. What are you going to do if you have to do something in 2023?
If I had to do something in 2023, I would use Tricky T's words. You could say, I'm just a servant for the people, you know? And what those words simply mean is, if like I'm talking of, if there's a gap to fill. So if there's a situation where I feel like, okay, I could help, because sometimes we almost forget, you really don't need to be in that political seat to help create a change. You can create the change from outside, being outside the political seat, you know? And that's something I strongly believe in. I necessarily don't believe you have to be there to create that change. But if I have to be there, then I don't know. 2023 for me is like, it seems far now, but we all know how time flies as well. But general, it's all about where do I think I can make a change, and that's what I really would want to work towards, is any parts or any sector I feel like I could help put a structure to. Because people run away from Nigeria because they'll tell you the system doesn't work, and why people use that word is because they believe the structure doesn't work. But one thing we almost tend to forget is Nigeria is a country that keeps developing, and the development may be slow, but if we apply ourselves and if we're able to put a structure in, and for me, that's why anything I want to do in any sector would have to be to put a structure in place. Because if you have a good foundation, then people that come after you can build. But if you have no foundation, then people that come after you, no matter how hard they try to build, everything will keep collapsing. So mine is going to be, is there a gap to fill, and could I help put a structure in place? And things like that would really interest me for sure.
Okay, so looking at you now, so let's believe that maybe your governor, the Imo State governor, is watching this, and he puts a call across to your dad, or puts a call across to you and say, we want you to come and serve in the position as either the senior special advisor or special advisor or commissioner for youth and sport in the state. Is this something that you take immediately?
Yeah, if I could help fill a gap, it's like I said, it's not just about putting it, like in the case of putting the document together. It's not just about putting a document together and then submitting it. It's about, are we willing to take the yes answer and create a change? Because it's one thing, you know, some situations where you have the name of a role, but you're really not doing anything there, you know? And like I said, my life is always centered around trying to make sure that if I say I'm going to do A, then I have to deliver A. So it's that's just what my life is about. So if I get out, I'm from Imo State, and they always say charity begins at home. So if that kind of opportunity comes up, like we say in the house, who am I? Just a mortal in the scheme of things, like we've been saying in the Big Brother house. So who am I to tone things like that down? As long as it's going to bring about a change and help me and people in the States to reap the benefits of whatever that change is going to be, it's definitely going to be interesting.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Correct, clearly.
All right. So I've watched a couple of your interviews, and you've been asked all the Nengi questions. You've been asked all the Dorothy questions. So I'm going to let that pass, right? I want you to say, I'm going to mention 3 people. I want you to say something about them. The organizations, and maybe a person you've never seen. Big Brother, MultiChoice, and DSTV.
Okay. Big Brother was really nice to me my whole time in the house. I think even when I got evicted, there was like a pause for like maybe 5 or 6 seconds. I was like, Big Brother is not counting 10, 9, 8. I was like, okay, cool. Until we started counting, and I was like, I need to just get moving. So for me, Big Brother would always be like an OG. We always like talk things through. And one time I was talking to him about nature versus nurture, and then he had to correct me. I was like, maybe you're mistaking nurture for nature. And we always had great conversations. They even nicknamed think Neo and I nicknamed us the Shalaye Masters because we'll stay inside there, and because of how interesting the conversation is with Big Brother, we'll talk and talk and
Yeah.
talk and talk. So now for me, like always dear to my heart, to be honest, always dear to my heart. DSTV, man, DSTV put me on TV for what, like 9 weeks, and they've changed my life. You know, I was on people's TVs, and if you know how life is, when you're on people's TV screens, sometimes you're always going to have people always have like an idea about you, but negative, positive, but whichever one it is, you've been there, like you're in front of people's. People just wake up every day and then they see you, you know, and you're affecting people's lives one way or another. And DSTV for me, I'll never be able to thank them enough. Multi-choice, I'll put it like this: multi-choice, DSTV, Go TV.
Yeah.
They've literally given me a platform to become a positive pillar in the society. And I say it because people almost look at the show as you're able to increase your Instagram followership or your social media followership, I would say. But then they forget that it gives you a platform to deliver on some things you really want to do your whole life, and that way become a positive to society. And for me, that's one thing they've done for me, and I'll forever be grateful. I can't say one negative thing about my whole time in the house. If I write a book eventually, one day, hopefully, about my stay in the house, it's just going to be, I should just call it like the most positive book ever. That should be the name of that book, because I can't say one single negative thing about my experience there.
All right. So, did you win any trip anywhere during your task? Did you win any trip?
No, I did. I won a trip to Abuja with Travel Better. I won a trip to Dubai for the One Africa. For the first thing with Triti and I won that one together with Pepsi.
One Africa Music Fest.
One Africa Music Fest. Yeah. So
All right. So because someone
I won 2 trips.
A friend just sent me a message that he wants to do an all expense paid One Africa trip for you, but I want you to nominate one fan, right? Maybe or your sister or somebody that you want to come with you, since you already have that treat. So I want you to nominate one person. So I'll reach out to your team, nominate one person that is going to go on that all expense paid trip. The friend said he wants to be. He said he didn't like you at all, but this interview has made him really like you so much, and he wants to give you a treat. So now I want you to nominate somebody. It could be your sister, your mom, or your dad, and that person's ticket, visa, and hotel will be taken care of. I just got that message. And I also have another friend that just sent me a message. He owns the eyewear store. I think you need to meet with him. Akin House of Lunettes. He owns the eyewear store. He said I should tell you that he's a big fan now. So that's great. So
thank you very much.
Just your people should let me know, and then the person is going to get the treat. All right. So we're going to play a game.
I'll do that for sure.
We're going to play a game. Are you ready? So I'm going to mention 2 things, and you pick one.
Okay. 2 things and I'll pick one. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Enugu or Imo?
Imo. It's hard, but Imo.
Ukwa or Abacha?
Abacha.
Oha soup or Ofo Onugu?
Oha soup.
Moi moi or Okpa?
Okpa.
Aloma bitters or kola nut?
Kola nut.
Definitely. Pami or beer?
Me. Every
Can
single
you hear
time
me?
over beer for sure.
Pami, right?
Pami, yes, 100% over beer.
Okay. Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
All right. Cold shower,
Hot shower. Every single time.
juice or water?
Water.
SUV or sedan?
SUV.
Text message or phone call?
Phone call.
NEPA light or generator?
NEPA lights, please. You don't don't want to be hearing the sound of the generator. Even if soundproof they tell you it is. No, NEPA lights, please. Every single day.
Draw soup or vegetable soup?
Draw soup.
Roasted corn or boiled corn?
Roasted corn.
Roasted yam or boiled yam?
Roasted yam.
Definitely. Cognac or whiskey?
Cognac.
Dodo or plantain chips?
Plantain chips. That's my. If you want to kill me, just put it in plantain chips and bring. Don't worry. Like now, plantain chips for me.
God forbid, you're not going anywhere, man.
God forbid, no. No, I'm not going. No. God's got my back. No, I'm a huge plantain chips fan. Like I eat them whole lot, a whole lot.
Okay, Okada or keke napep?
Keke napep is safer. So keke napep.
All right. So there's a conversation I listened to you were having with Lakon.
Yeah.
One of the last, I think, was on Friday before you were evicted on Sunday.
Yeah.
It felt like there was something you were saying, right? I posted that video, and I felt like you are a very, very, very brilliant person. From this interview, it takes a lot for me to sit down and listen to somebody, right? It takes a lot for me to just be nodding myself when somebody is talking. I want to say you're a very brilliant guy. You have a very, very bright future. Right now,
thank you.
You've lived your reality in Big Brother's house. Right now, you're about to live your reality off the camera. And everything that we are going to see as people will be the pictures you post on Instagram, your wins. You know, we might not see a lot of things that you showed us on the show, but we'll see those things that, you know, those things that we believe that are success, those things that you are going to record, because I know that having someone like Noble, your sisters, you have a sister that is a lawyer, you know, you talk about your father a lot, so he's I'm sure he's a very brilliant, well put together man. You have your family, so, and also for someone like you're a businessman. From how you've spoken about football, you know, you've spoken about your business and everything that you've done. I know that I am 150% sure that you are 100% success, right?
Thank you.
So now
Amen.
I'll tell you something. There's something they say, money follows attention, right? Money follows attention means you now have the attention. So the money is going to come for you. This is an opportunity for you to strategically position yourself to get that money. Now, you might not win Big Brother, right? Or you didn't win Big Brother, but between now and December, if you position yourself very well, you're going to get many deals. Today, I was opportune to give two Big Brother former some of your colleagues. I was opportune to give them some endorsement today, and I could see that there's a lot of value that's for someone like you who I think you have a bigger brand, right? Can do, and the kind of money you can make. So I believe that between now and December, you should be able to go up in close to 100 million naira in your account.
Amen.
Don't forget my 10%.
Amen. No.
Don't forget my 10%.
I would not. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Right. Yeah, very, very great guy. Thank you so much for coming on this show. I really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. And to be honest, I'll say God bless you for giving me with your platform as well. I'm really grateful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Good night.
Thank you very much. Good night.
All right. That was also, I'll say this has been my best interview of all the Bbnaija this season for Bbnaija housemates. This will be my best interview. So guys, tell us all not to forget my 10%. And guys, I'm very grateful to have all of you watching, and it's been great to see that there's been a lot of positive coming out of here. Kura, I know you are watching. Thank you for, I know that my head is safe from today, Kura. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you everyone. Good night and have a great evening. Bye.